You know, I'm really gonna enjoy it tonight.
You plan to like this show?
Oh, I plan to watch television. Oh, hello everyone. It caught me in the middle of a thing. Bought my necromantic horror team from Krenball. And just so in case you were clear, memes, I'm clear. I was getting a pizza. Listen, Wani, you swine, I explained to you what it was, did I not? I have the mini. What's that?
After this show, nothing hurts.
I have the bits. I was doing something while I was waiting for my pizza to cook. Sue me. You want Wani? There you go. Alright, well, let's see. Last week... Gator. Speaking of Gator... I've had this guy lying around for a while. Hang on. I've had that guy lying around on different shelf out off camera for a while. Figured it was a good time to put him on camera. Now my Ferrella Gatekeeper can actually keep a watchful eye over my shoulder as I fail. How does a fail state in this game? Alright, well... Not much else for it. Let's see how badly my voices hold out, especially when I have garlic bread. Just gonna pop the music just a little touch. All right. All right. September 25th. It's been nearly a full month, and things are starting to feel natural in school now. Yeah, good for him. Well, at least compared to my old schools, except now I've actually made some good friends. Sounds like a you problem. I'm pretty sure we're good friends anyways. I don't really know how to measure friendship. Outside of that party a few days ago, I haven't hung out with any of them outside of school. That's pretty real about anything. If friends just hung out at school, and good friends did stuff outside of school, where does that put us? Somewhere in the middle. Well, it's still early in the school year. Plenty of time for the cringe to catch up to us. I'll figure out the friendship conversion rate at some point. And it's not like I'm rushing either. Shades, focus! Thinking my current thoughts, I realize I have been in the middle of a climbing rock wall in the gymnasium. Why was I spacing out again? Oh yeah, I'm upside down. Alright, all the blood rushing to my head. Grab that. Throw that into thumbnails. Oh! Ow. All right! Peel yourself off, Mama! There's a gym floor and hit the showers! Made it just in time. I take my seat right next to Olivia and let myself relax for a second. Olivia, as usual, doodling away on her notebook. I take a quick peek at her new work, curious to see who she's trying to turn into a caricature today. Instead, the page is filled with various scribbles of what looks to be a rat. The only piece of shading on its fur is just on its head, save for a white spot around its right eye. It looks like the same one she doodled on the note we passed around in history class. The mirrored mural shows it in various poses and scenarios, some basic and some pretty creative. There's even one wearing a cape and wielding a ridiculously giant sewing needle like a sword. Ooh! The Tale of Despero, perhaps? What was that movie? What was it, Despero? Those rat doodles of yours are pretty cute. Thanks. Actually, that reminds me. Look who else I drew over the weekend. She flips a couple of pages of her sketchbook and holds it up for me to see. Much to my surprise, it's none other than Mia. Olivia decided to draw her as what I can only describe in the most flattering of ways as a druggy harlot. Aha! Her clothes are even more ripped than her usual attire, her jacket is filled with all kinds of unflattering patches, and her hair is styled into a gaudy mohawk that only detracts slightly from her face full of piercings and rings. In fact, she's a couple of rings piercing her eyelids to the point where I think it would be impossible to keep her eyes open from their weight. And that's not even getting into all the tattoos that Olivia has drawn on Mia's face. I can't help but let out a snicker at the sight. You like? She's sporting a smug grin as she looks my way. I mean, it's funny, but how can she even breathe with all those nose rings? Doesn't need to. She's full of hot air already. The girl chuckles at her own joke. I bet if she saw it, steam would blow out her ears. Yeah, she'd stomp around uselessly and then do nothing else. Seems like you have a pretty good idea on how she works. Yeah, she's just predictable. It's not rocket science. And here are these two. We're interrupted by a pair of students. I recognize them, though I only know one of their names. Yes, the one I forget and the one I never knew. The decorator and the selfie. And I forgot her voice. Yo, Inko, my Humi! So, I saw what you submitted for the contest, and I just love it! It was so good, I just had to show it to my friend. Yeah, man, I just had to see who made what Lenora told me about it.
And when she told me, I was like, oh my god, I just knew when I saw you I had that artistic spirit. Pretty damn fantastic, especially for a newbie.
I'm never gonna remember these voices. I'm taken aback by her. Backhanded compliment. Still, it's a compliment. The first real one I've heard since coming to St. Hammond. About my art, I mean.
Oh my god, I never introduced myself, did I? I'm Kiara. It's so nice to meet you.
Ki Karakin. Yeah, likewise.
Call.
I mean, it's not that great of a piece. It's just something I had on hand.
Last minute? Damn, you're selling yourself way too short there. Yeah, your work is absolutely gorgeous.
I'm really gonna forget these voices.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should hang out sometime. Oh, you slut, stop trying to get into his pants. Oh shit, the bell's ringing soon. Already? Damn. Well, it was nice seeing you again, Inko. Keep up the great work. Be seeing you later. Yeah, I'll be seeing you real soon, Inko.
I can't help but smile and wave as my new friends wave their goodbye and depart. A heady feeling of joy washing through my head as I replay their words of praise repeatedly. Yeah, they're not interested in you, dude. In the corner of my eye, Olivia's face reflects the overwhelming cheer I'm feeling. Though it seems to vanish the moment I look her way. It seems like you're becoming the talk of the school. I mean, I hope to get some positive feedback about my work, but I didn't realize it would be that good. Olivia chews her lip in contemplation before turning to me. Say, Inko, can I see your submission? Sure, give me a second. Luckily, I'm prepared, as not only do I have my portfolio drive... Wait, what? There's a dangling participle here. As not only do I have my portfolio drive, that should be a minimum comma or an ellipsis indicating a dramatic pause. I don't know why I'm like this. I'm not specifically a grammar Nazi. It's just stuff I notice. But I finally set up a cloud drive for it.
Hey, you want to hear me sing?
Only if you sing solo.
Solo?
So low I can't hear.
It's as simple as opening up the application on my phone and swiping to the exact digital copy to present it to Olivia. Ta-da! I consider it my magnum opus. You're a little young for that, don't you think? Magnum opus! I finally got to say it! You keep a copy of it on your phone? I've got my whole portfolio in cloud storage. I learned it was a good practice from a couple of artist blogs. So, what do you think? Oh, Olivia squints at my phone as she does her best to formulate her opinion. It's, nice. The compost of it is really... something. Compost? You mean composition? Yeah, that. You did great, Inko. Huh, getting a compliment from Olivia for my work feels a bit alien to me. Then maybe, just maybe, this was the start of something new. Yeah, I can almost feel it now. Incognito, ace photographer, capable of capturing masterpieces through a photo lens. Yeah, that has a nice ring to it. Bit long-winded, if you ask me. Olivia must see my self-congratulatory grin because her own drops. Alright, you did good. Don't let it go to your head. When the grin remains, she forces it off by elbowing me in the chest. Gah! Wind you. That's gonna leave a bruise. With that exchange behind us, Olivia and I get ready for class. Uh-oh. As was the norm by now, Mr. Yatakan begins class with some violent abuse of school property. What can I say? I'm hungry and it's good garlic bread. Ah, good morning, good morning. Now, settle down, we've got announcements to go over. I sat back in my seat, subtly feeling out the spot where Olivia smacked me to check. Yep, bruised. Sheesh. As the pale pterodon continued on reading from the announcement sheet like he did every day, I found myself lost in my own thoughts. Nothing else really happens that I'd consider out of the ordinary. Things that are new, like the school itself, are finally starting to become mundane. That's good to know. And lunch. Later at lunch, I'm rattling off my best stand-up to Olivia while Damien's out getting seconds. Liz had retreated to her usual space in the rafters. And then he says, "Oh, goddamn!"
Hey, you want to hear me sing?
Only if you sing solo.
Solo?
So low I can't hear.
Haven't started singing yet. Olivia's hand flies to her nose, trying and failing to contain the snort-filled laughter. It sets off a chain reaction as my own laughter spills over my mouthful of cheap school burger. God, you suck at comedy, Inko. Olivia drinks greedily from her canteen to alleviate her sore vocal cords. Is that why you're all out of breath? It was a pity laugh. Stick to photography. You got a better one? The mood is slow to settle, but once Olivia has caught her breath, she speaks with a snide smile. In fact, I do. So a Triceratops, a T-Rex, and a Rhinorex find a lamp. Her mouth clamps shut and eyes go wide. Perfect! I was looking for you too. Olivia casts her eyes down to her lunch, spearing her mystery meat roughly with a talon. Hey, Ben, what's up? I figured I'd come by and congratulate you on your submission entry. This again? I mean, it is my best piece, but all the praise for it is still surprising. Oh, wait. Here's the good... It must be some variety of, first submission hazing. Everybody is saying you're doing so great to bring up your things just to have it crash down on you later. I wouldn't put it past an artsy-fartsy school. Thanks, man. Hey, maybe I'll be the winner of the contest. Swear Blood Bowl hates you. Was it that bad of a game, Zio? Man, I was like, I can tell you, you probably, I know the game is hard, but I can probably bet Krendor had a worse time of it last night after finally finding out about the overtime oopsie. Man, he crashed out pretty hard. Yeah. What do you think, Olivia? The Green Gator girl flinches. Ben shakes his head. Also, Olivia, great to catch you here. Not Blood Bowl Nuffle. You gotta find out how to dance for him and entertain him enough. This is true. Memes is right, but the game is frustrating, we all can agree. Principal Scalar wanted to remind you that you need to clean up after yourself. Leaving messes in classes can disrupt students in other periods. Scalar said that? Why not tell Olivia herself? She's busy and tired of reminding you. Olivia scoffs at the mention of our principal, yet keeps her mouth firmly closed. Must not be that important, then. Hinko, I just spent my entire second period cleaning up her mess because she's not taking anything seriously. I'm not supposed to be Scalar's errand boy, but I'm certainly not supposed to be a personal janitor. I'm left thrown at Olivia for giving Ben the silent treatment. Was it wrong of me to think she'd be more open with everyone else like she is with me? Kinda, yeah. Do you know how hard it is to scrub baking soda out from the carpet once it's dried? Yes. I know how I've had to get oobleck, baking soda, glitter, cocoa nibs, Play-Doh, kinetic sand, phloem, regular playground sand, dried beans. What the hell else have been in those sensory tables? They're all terrible to clean up, mind you, even with a vacuum cleaner. Just awful, god-awful. 63% dodges with gobos and fecked up the last bomber on the sideline for the chosen defense. Did have a big-time play that worked. Always good to hear what those were. Can you just try not to make other people's lives harder? Ben, what the hell? I didn't mean that. I went too far. Sorry. Olivia tries shooting me an indifferent gaze. No wonder you hate life in Blood Bowl. Black Orc goblins. They're slightly better than goblin goblins. It cracks a bit into embarrassment when I don't return it. Ben's comment is completely uncalled for. I just can't stand around if she's not even going to defend herself. Come on, Ben, leave her alone. Yeah, my point being, Olivia, is this is completely ridiculous. I expect better from you. Expect? How can you have expectations for her? Ah, and there it is. And of the weapons to make up for goblins being crap. True, but you have black orcs. You have more strength spread out across more players. That came out a little wrong. Well, I expect her to do the bare minimum and not waste my time. And she's gone. Olivia doesn't bother looking at Ben. Instead, she's looking at me with that sad face until she quietly wheels away from us. I think I went a little too far there. And he pinches his brow and sighs. And love standing here with the student council president. I wonder what I had done that earned me Olivia's ire just now. You slipped to the soft bigotry of low expectations is what you done did. And can't get SPP because my dumbass I still only have 2 black orcs. Why do you only have 2 black orcs? Or are you just playing non-goblin goblins? But anyway, well, yeah, I can see you having a rough game. Sorry to hear about that, Zio. Hope you do better, or have better dice or whatever. Forgot you can't spend bank as the underdog. Oh yeah. Ooh, that'll do it. That'll do it. Probably gambling as a. Probably hoping to get like a for a star player or something like. So I didn't buy any black orcs to start. Ah. Alright. You had a plan. You were trying to moneyball it. Alright. Yep. I can see what you're trying to do. Sorry it wasn't when it's not been working out for you, Zio. Ooh, excuse me. That bad? Mia really wanted me to have lunch with her today. She's definitely going to give me an earful after school. He glances at his phone and grimaces at the notifications. Spoke too soon. She's giving me one now. Well, you should probably grab your lunch while there's still time. Ben glances up at one of the lunch clocks in the lunchroom. There's only about 10 minutes of lunch left. You're right. But the lines usually closed 5 minutes ago. His fist hammers his palm in epiphany. Oh, you use the vending machines out there. Anything good there? I've been enjoying the atomic hot taquitos recently. But Damien tells me he's a bigger fan of bitter melon bites. Bitter melon it is. I don't think my tail can handle that amount of capsaicin. Ben gets up from his seat. All right, I'll go check it out. Let's see. One of his feet gets caught in the stool and he stumbles head first. I need to grab this face. This is pretty good too. Always grabbing stuff to use for thumbnails. Right into Damien's tray, stacked high with mystery meat. Uh-oh. He face plants right through the tray and onto the floor. On the bright side, the mystery meat cushions his fall. On the dark side, the mystery meat cushions his fall. Whoa! Ben, you all right? And everybody... there's Liz. And all of the nameless characters are looking around. Oh god, is he gonna go gaga? I jump from my seat and go help him up. Please be covered in baloney. Bleh. Instinctively, I take a look around the cafeteria. All eyes are on us. I already hear it starting. Various murmurs about the safety of the student council president, murmurs that start breaking into jeers. I know how this song and dance goes. It's over for Ben. He gets up and dusts off his blazer. Not exactly what I said when I said meet and greet, Damien. Oh yeah, you're right, sorry. All of a sudden, the entire attitude of the cafeteria shifted before my eyes. The jeers were deflected into a general amusement that permeated throughout the room. Ben knows how to at least ways deflect criticism or deal with his own clumsiness. There's an underlying thing here. One of the nearby students stands up and hands him a few napkins to wipe his face off. Hey, thanks. How does he manage to stay composed while covered in school mystery meat? I'm both impressed and jealous. You okay? I thought you couldn't eat meat. Nah, even if I swallowed any, it'd take a lot more than that to really be an issue. I'll be fine. Thanks for the concern, though. Even as he brushes off the lunchroom grime, Ben carries himself with dignity. If that had been me, this guy has some seriously quick wit. Well, there's probably a little more to it than that. Ain't it the truth? Man, I was looking forward to eating that. Why on earth did you even have that much meatloaf? I asked the cafeteria lady early this morning to let me have the leftovers. Although now it's gone a bit to waste. His eyes remain on the floor. Some poor janitor's gonna have to mop all that up. It sucks. Maybe. Don't even think about it. The bell signaling our next class tolls. The fistfights and gang wars cease on command, and everyone starts milling toward the exits. Strong union. You just wait for Vamps to actually hit Blood Bowl 3 before trying to do the league again? Ugh. That's rough to hear. I know we all go through the highs and lows of Blood Bowl. And it might just be that I had a very long stint before I became an admin. But there was a while where I didn't get picked in, and then I never really knew when it was being announced. Rams is a team I actually know in the 2020 rules set, and if I'm right, they do have that Varghast big guy, right? So I've not seen anything about the Vamps rules, but I am actually kind of interested to see what they look like. Vargeist. Isn't that what I said? Whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to see what that is. Like vampires, chaos dwarves, Khorne. They're still coming. Gnomes, obviously. So there's still 4 teams minimum. There might even still be some more that I'm not familiar with. It's been a while since I've last seen an episode, copy of Spike. Might be worth. Definitely might be worth going back to that one. I'm gonna find myself in the nearest city again shortly enough, so I'll check that out. Anywho, the cafeteria empties enough that I can clearly see the bend-shaped meatloaf angel on the floor. There's a familiar, rubbery textured feeling on my fingertips. My instincts had kicked in, hands going for my camera to capture the moment. After which a sense of shame rolls over me. That I would even consider capturing something like this, especially when it's happening to my friend. I get up from my seat with a heavy sigh and finally head for my next class. You know, I realize that you were mildly late for class. But at the very least, the 3 of you could pick up that mass of meat. Ben was literally just talking about doing the bare minimum and not making life harder for other people. And then leaves a meat angel on the floor? After someone mentions the poor janitor? Who cares what the guy that's paid to do that? Speaking as the guy that's paid to do that? I do. I care. Because seriously, I realize this is different. But having been on the receiving end of jackasses this age, thinking they're funny, taking those cafeteria variety salt and pepper shakers, cutting the bottom out of it, and leaving it in such a way that when you go to pick it up and clean around it, the whole thing spills, making a bigger mess. Fuck that. Fuck them. I think actually the mixture of the salt and the cleaning solution left a little bit of caustic burn on my finger one time. It's long since healed, but the tip of my finger at one point was actually very plastic for a while. I hope Ben will have time to clean up before photography. He's got 5 minutes. Oh? On my way to photography, I'm still a bit caught up by what had happened. I think I'm starting to see how Ben accomplished that. I mean, ordinarily, an incident that embarrassing would just be detrimental to your social standing. On my first day, I went through something like that. An event so humiliating, people were spreading rumors for days. Sure, they died out pretty quick, but the fact is it happened. One moment everything's fine, and something you couldn't have even seen coming just upends your life. Depends on how well you're willing to roll with the punch. Stuff like that can happen all the time, and to anyone. It's something that's always terrified me. It's something that just happened to Ben, only he was exempt. He was quick on his feet and diffused the situation faster than it could have been really started. I think it may have gone a little heavy on the pepper flakes in this pizza. It's like disaster avoidance. I seriously think it's the most important skill one can have. It's not disaster avoidance, it's what you said before. It's a quick wit and a thick skin. Or at the very least, an outwardly thick skin. To have everything under control, to see trouble from a mile away and make it a non-issue even when it takes you by surprise. Ooh, positional vamps. Throwers have vamp stuff, bloodlust 2+, pass, 6-4, 2-up, 2-up, 9-up stat line. Catchers +2 move, but only 3 strength. Okay. Blitzers are the only general strength access on the team, the same size as the thrower, but bloodlust 3-up and jugs. Oh, Juggernaut. Vargas is the only one with Mighty Blow Claw to start. I don't normally use them, so I don't remember the big guy. That is an... excuse me. That is an interesting line. Do they still have thralls, or is that not a thing anymore in the 2020 rules? It's like, how would Bloodlust work without thralls? Do they just run off the field regardless? Or do they have, or do they eat like an opposing player, or just any player? Thralls is just nothing. Okay. So like what? You can have like 2 of each variety of positional vamp. Thrower, catcher, blitzer. That would make sense. That would still land you with 6 vampires at the end of it. Okay. Oh, okay. So 2 each of the vampires for a total of 6. You still have the thralls plus the Vargas. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. I am looking forward to that team with bated breath. Though I think I'm going to be playing Chaos Chosen next season. Tend to have to do 2 throwers, 2 catchers, and 1 blitzer. That's a fairly balanced spread, actually. Long as you're like the vampires are fairly still. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Still fairly good for strength, especially with throwers on 4 strength. I mean, throw strength has nothing to do with their pass, but a 2-up pass, regardless. Two-up dodge, 2-up agility, 2-up pass, 9-up armor. That's a really good stat block. And 6 move is nothing to sneeze at. Never mind the 8 for the catchers. Might have to see what the, like, if you can find what the Vargeist, big bat monster stat line is, I'd love to see that too. That sort of social capital is something I need. Maybe it's a little selfish, but if I were seen that way, then any sudden happenings would be forgiven instantly. It's not so much the social capital you're thinking about, dude. It's the fact that he's probably seen a lot of shit and knows how to deal with it better. Of course, Ben isn't alone. The world is full of people with that skill. Only I'd be lying if I said most of them deserved it. Most people able to get away with stuff use their unique ability for just that, getting away with stuff. What should be seen as a blessing of a social buffer is just some enabling trait of theirs, a charismatic get-out-of-jail-free card. If I had that ability, I'd use it to push myself to my limits, both artistically and productively. You say that! You say that, putting yourself on a pedestal, you bastard. Like as not, you'd be as bad as the other ones. That's my ultimate goal. Passion's one thing, but don't let that get clouded. Ben is one of the good ones, definitely. He's definitely earned my respect over this. The question remains, though. How do I get like that? That line of thinking is cut off as I round the next corner. Oh crap, I forgot what did I do for Mia's voice? I do like an Oh, thank you, memes. Okay.
Wanted to talk with you, Olivia.
At the center of the hallway intersection, I see Mia and Olivia. Okay. 5-5, 4 up, null, 10 up, regen, claw, bloodlust 3, and frenzy. Ooh, that's a scary bloodlust number. Five strength, 4 up, huh? A 4 up agility is not that bad for a big guy. Not great, but it's better than some. That regen's pretty big, though.
Oh, come the fuck on now, Olivia. Don't be such a killjoy. Don't be such a killjoy.
Well, if you blitz or block, you get +1 to the bloodlust. Okay, that's helpful.
I'm trying to be nice here.
The grin on Mia's face is as jovial as she stands before the wheelchair-bound girl, her tail lazily swishing as she eyes Olivia. Man, I never realized how lethal those spikes in her tail look. What is she? She's not a stegosaur.
After all, we have to be nice to someone as talented as Olivia, don't I?
Parasaur. Okay. Behind her are a pair of similarly smiling saurian girls. Oh, I know those silhouettes. Actually, wait a minute. Those two. They're Mia's friends?
I mean, she knows her way around a palette and canvas. Right, Olivia? Apparently a paraplegic Picasso here. That's you, right? I can't imagine how useless you must feel otherwise. I'm so glad you're able to put those thoughts aside and paint some things you like.
Mia takes a step towards Olivia, her previous expression taking on a more ominous air.
Yeah, for all that talent and untapped potential, you seem to lack some of the basics expected of a functioning young adult.
Mia's lips part, revealing a cruel grin. Ah, that's part of the reason why... There's why Ben has such social capital. It's backed up by the collateral of the local mean girls. Blitzer also has a 3-up bloodlust. Also scary. That makes sense if it's a blitzer. Mia's lips part, revealing a cruel grin.
I hear you've been a really dirty, messy little baby, leaving your stuff everywhere in class and getting it all over the place. They should stick you in a cute little bib.
Kiara and Lunara laugh, jeering loudly at Olivia. Mia snaps her finger, causing the two of them to go quiet. I still don't want to believe it. Didn't I call that these two had it out? Those two, they were so nice to me. What are they doing with Mia? Loner 4+ on the Bard. Oh, okay, now that makes a lot of sense, too, for the big guy. Although Frank... And I suppose Bloodlust would be the big negative as opposed to, Wild... like... What is it? Like, Wild Animal or whatever. Unbridled Fury or Really Stupid. Or what? Bonehead. You want Pro on it ASAP. If you can get it, yeah! I know them. They're smart. They know if this is what it looks like. It's horrible. They know I know if this is what it looks like, it's horrible. Took me a second to parse that sentence a little bit. And they're not the kind of people to punch down like this. But they all decided to do this, right? So what's going on? Mean girls? Is there more to this situation? Other than the fact that Olivia is apparently making more work for her boyfriend, which pisses her off, which then pulls these two into being a thing. The part that could be more is maybe Olivia's getting set up. But, yeah. Mia takes another step forward, her figure now looming over Olivia as she looks down with a cruel sneer on her lips.
Normally, I wouldn't waste my time trying to single you out, but I'm gonna use this moment to make you sure you get the picture. Benny was supposed to join me for lunch, but then he had to stay behind to clean up after your mess. You got your issues, you can't ride a bike, whatever. What's your fucking problem? Stop making it mine, Livia. Or do I need to stop bringing it being a problem for you? Yeah, does Ben look like your nanny? Well, she does come pre-packaged with the stroller. Oh, come on, Mia, that's crossing the line. Not like she can stand up to you. Or anyone. What? I'm just chatting with Liv here. Well, if I did hurt your feelings, I'm really sorry.
Kiara's beak clicks loudly and repetitively, while Lunara's hand covers her maw to hide a giggle.
Oh, don't take it personally, Livia. I'm just teasing you. Right, Liv? We're all just one big happy family here. Lord knows some of us here could use one.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I want to hear both sides of the story here. What history Mia and Olivia have for a confrontation like this? I think getting this upset over her missing lunch with Ben is extreme, but Mia's friends remain by her side. Completely steadfast against Olivia. Numbers tend to do that. Is it that bad? And yet, Olivia says nothing to her. She has her head atop the knuckles of her hand like I would during Prockling's history lesson. There were moments where Olivia's tail would press onto the floor, shifting her chair back or to the side. It looked like she was attempting to sidestep the conversation with that muscular tail, but Mia's own movements cut off her escape attempts. Mia returns the calm stare. There's no motion, but the staring contest was a fight in its own way, and the first to look away would lose. Olivia's frigid indifference against Mia's piercing gaze. The blue eyes help with that a lot. Great contrast against the red. Kiara ends up dropping her phone and both glare at her simultaneously. All right, we'll call this a draw.
Kiara, I swear I'll kill you one of these days.
Olivia takes the opportunity to move past Mia. Meow. Mia takes no time to toughen her stance and continue her spew of insults.
What, leaving so soon?
No response.
And so quickly. That's almost normal walking speed. I was also thinking you need a cooler nickname to go with your need for speed. Hot Wheels.
Heh. I can make a current joke. Shit upon a damn congresswoman.
That reminds me, this show has always reminded me of a sardine.
Why?
It's a little fishy.
Heckles play out.
Look, there's a bag full of fruits and vegetables up here.
Perchance Statler and Waldorf were thinking of throwing a party.
Well, this much food won't go very far.
Well, they only wanted to throw it as far as the stage.
Oh, for sure.
In an instant, Olivia stops to a squeaking halt. Gone was her stoic face. In its place were eyes wide with shock.
How the hell?
Olivia's pace falters. Mia quickly steps ahead and again places a foot on her left wheel.
Your brain-dead, fin-head friend told me back in gym class. It went about how you had it back when you were still soiling your diapers. Honestly, I think you should embrace it. So say it. Well? Are you retarded, you stupid bitch? Fucking say it! God, do you need fucking speech therapy too? Say it! Hot Wheels! Hot Wheels! See? I knew you could do it. Kinda fitting. I agree with half of it.
Olivia's claws dig into her armrests.
Maybe that's the nuance. The point of it is that only half of it works.
Mia turns to look at Kiara and Lunara, eliciting some more giggling from them.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind us making it cool again, though, right? I mean, you were such a winner back then.
Mia leans in close. She's going. You kidding? I'd hurt someone. Mia leans in close, her voice now a harsh stage whisper as she glares daggers through Olivia.
What's wrong, Hot Wheels? Don't want to talk anymore? Am I not good enough for you?
Even from afar, I can tell that Olivia's starting to lose her composure. Her tail lays limp on the floor, as if the energy to hold it was drained away. Oh my god. I think this is bullying. No shit, Sherlock! I didn't want to believe it. But it's undeniable now. This is textbook bullying. It's unfair. It's like when you're in line to use the restroom after hours and hours of waiting and someone cuts in front of you. Completely inexcusable. Hey, this is the part where I should step in. What do I even say? You say nothing. You just walk up, grab Olivia's handlebars, and walk away. That's it. That's all you do. Inko may be a bit retarded. Yeah. I have to at least try, right? It's my duty as a fellow student. Maybe I don't need to say anything at all? Just being present for Olivia against the Horde? You can't? Mia has her foot in Liv's wheel? I suppose, but you start moving. And it certainly wouldn't help if I got an even bigger target on my back for Mia. Olivia wrenches herself free from Mia's foot and continues down the hall. The others follow like vultures. Have we roped you into liking the Gator dating sim, Zio? I hate to think that I'm complicit in spreading the scaly. Oh man, I need to think and act fast. Look, Olivia's moving. Just do what I say. Half jog? Handlebars? Go! If they chase, book it. Head for Coach Sully's office. A dodgeball would do him. Good this game, this comes with wheel. Yeah, especially for the ride, huh? Meh. My legs move on their own and I cross into the hallway. I'm instantly noticed. Mia's already registered my presence and her expression changes. My heart starts beating quicker and harder. Time's up for being indecisive. Damn it. There's no book it option. Which means there's no non-confrontational way of dealing with this. And I'm half thinking this is a load-bearing decision. Although it's still within the first few hours of the game, technically. Screw it. If Olivia's not going to defend herself, then I will. I grant you the permission to save scum here, since the way these are phrased is dumb. Alright, we'll start with this one. Starting with defend Olivia. Olivia needs my help here. Like, am I right? Is this a load-bearing question, or am I still too early for that? Like I was with the other one? Or is that a non-answerable question? You've been load-bearing for a bit. Ah, okay. Alright, cool. Whoa, hey, what's going on here? Oh, good lord, it's Basic Baldy coming to save the day now. Piss off, new guy. You won't score any points doing this. I grip my teeth, as if this were for popularity. Luckily, I know what to do in this situation. Hey, I can go get a teacher right now. If this is how my classmates treat each other, I'm disappointed. Especially you two, Lunara, Kiara. Kiara and Lunara look aside a bit, more aware of the situation now that I've pointed it out. You know him? Yeah? It doesn't surprise me Lunara's gotten cozy with him, but come on, dude. We weren't ganging up on Olivia. You were. I saw all of it, how you all bullied her. Bully? Really? Mia spits out the word bully like it's the word of the day in kindergarten. Somehow it makes me feel silly for saying it. You gonna tell me to pick on someone my own size next? What? Did you even hear me? I said to go get a teacher. All the people my own size. Think I killed them all already. Kidding? You really need to loosen up, eh? Are you ignoring me? I said I heard you the first time, retard. Instead of repeating yourself over and over like a freaking idiot, how about you try a threat that actually scares me? Suspension doesn't scare you? She smiles. Let's just call it friends in high places. Look, just cut Olivia some slack. Shut that gullet of yours. Hey, Olivia, I think your paladin here has graduated night skill yet. You wouldn't like it if it were you. Mia laughed, just dryly. Why the fuck are you trying so hard? It's hilarious. Are you just trying to get a piece of that leathery gator tail? What the fuck? Yes, fuck. Exactly that. Let me slip something that works into those pants, babe. Yeah, the two start chortling again. Mia's forced me lower on their social scales. They're compromised. My face heats up. I'm starting to see red. From blushing or bloodlust? And yet, I'm frozen in place. How can you just claim something like that without hesitation?
Oh my, he's not responding at all. His head is so red, he's totally into gumping it.
This was a mistake. No, it's for Olivia. They're not focusing on her anymore. I can still fix this. I take a step forward to continue my argument, but Olivia grabs me by the wrist. She gives me a pleading look, one that makes my thoughts stop in their tracks.
Oh, isn't that sweet? See, she knows you shouldn't be embarrassing yourself more than you already have.
Is that true? She gives a single solemn nod.
How touching. Hey, it's getting late. You gotta clean up your fucking act or what?
She glares at Mia
Every
and back to
show,
me.
Statler and Waldorf sit up here. Show after show after show. Now I see why.
You see why they come?
No, I see why they left.
Oh,
Another single nod.
Oh, so I can try basically anything with you when it's no dice. But when things get rough for him, things change. Good to know.
The three saunter off and around the corner. I turn to look at Olivia, who in turn scowls and wheels past me without a word. I reach out to her. Olivia, are you... She smacks my hand away. I'm sorry. It's just that I couldn't sit back and let Mia trash talk you like that. Olivia stops in her tracks for a moment, her head turning back towards me. Something about deserving it? In her eyes, I don't see any anger or sadness. Only disappointment. Her citrine eyes are downcast, her claws kneading the cheap leather of her armrest. It takes me a second to realize Olivia isn't talking to me.
Forget it.
Olivia doesn't even wait for me to say anything back to her request. Her arm is pushed roughly on the rims of her chair, which takes off down the hall without so much as giving anything or anyone the time of day. I'm betting that's the end of that scene. Yeah, okay, so we save this. Go back here. Oops. Well, just... Uh-oh. Well,
What was that?
Well, I deserve
called the
that.
medium sketch.
I deserve that heckle.
The medium sketch?
Because I...
Yeah, it wasn't rare, and it certainly wasn't well done.
Guess I'm locked in for that one.
I may have but the game did not. Yeah, I guess the game... I should have clicked load. Oh, well, we're in it for in for a penny, in for a pound. History class is as bland as it usually is. No artillery balls. Brockling continues prattling on about some sort of historical event. But most of my attention is on Olivia. She has her hoodie over her head and looks lost in thought. That altercation must have shook her up more than I thought it would be. A part of me wants to ask if she'll be okay. Even though I'd already asked 3 times already. But the last thing I'd want to do is prod at her. Soon enough, class nears its end, and Olivia uses her accommodation to leave the class early. Besides, we can talk about it after school if she wants to anyways. The more I think about it, the more I realize that I had my first real confrontation with a bully at a school. I'd heard once that when you get into a fight for the first time, you throw up from the adrenaline. No. I mean, my experience with getting into a fight into a bully at school was the one time that I took this one kid in a, get this, in a college class final, grabbed him by the neck and threw him against the wall. That's a story, isn't it? Yeah. No fists were thrown, but I feel about the same right now. I wring my hands together to try steadying them. Jeez, I'm a wuss. I stood up to Mia for Olivia, and I end up in this mess. The final class ends, and I'm set free for the day. And there we go. Stepping out of St. Hammond's main entrance, I'm surprised to see my friends huddled together in a tightly knit group. I usually don't see any of them after school. I always assume they left as soon as the bell rang. Hey guys, what's going... Inko! Damien looks exceptionally worried as he glances at me. Inko, you believe me, right? Pardon? Olivia's nostrils flare with an exasperated snort. I didn't mean for any of that to happen. What's the matter, Damien? When Mia asked about the nickname stuff from so long ago, I just blurted it out. She didn't say she'd use it for something so unscrupulous. I'm ashamed it took Mia more than a moment to figure out what was happening. Guess Damien feels culpable for what Mia said, but why? Well, you were technically the one to tell her about that, obviously, he's sort of a touchy subject, but yeah. You don't know what that word means. Who cares? Inko, really, I didn't mean for any of that to happen. Hey, I believe you, man. Your heart was in the right place. Olivia told us what happened with Mia, calling her some nickname. Damien leans back over an unresponsive Olivia, hands spread in supplication. She said you were there too. I was, yeah. Olivia, you loved that nickname way back when we were kids. Damien's words were dismissed with a roll of her smoky eyes. There are a lot of adjectives about Olivia's eyes. He really didn't mean it, Olivia. I know already! For a split second, she bore row upon row of sharp teeth before gnashing her maw in frustration. Olivia's nostrils flare out with a huff of hot breath again, and I could practically see everything from her day finally weigh on her. You were just being you again, Damien. Sometimes I wish you weren't, but whatever. There's a grittiness to her voice once more, but she continues on. Eyes are a window to the soul. In most fiction, there are focal points for emotion and inner feelings, despite outer appearances. Oh, I am aware, Pentivent. By the way, welcome to the chat. Hope to see you. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm just saying that I've been noticing a lot of various adjectives, even just tonight. Smoky, citrine, just for the two that immediately come to mind. Again, just things I notice and comment about. She holds her canteen up to her lips, but drops it immediately. Empty again. The grit in her voice is back, but she presses on. And the nickname is just that, a nickname. I'm just... I don't want to hear it again. Especially from her, and especially if it's just to get under my skin. Olivia stares at Damien for a while before breaking contact to glance at Liz and I. Why not? Wait, did I say that? Why did I ask that? Just kind of came out. Liz notices Damien still organizing his thoughts. Seeing as neither the others are going to answer coherently, she sighs.
Well, I wasn't around for this, but when they were freshmen in middle school, Damien and Olivia would take the bus every weekend to an arcade in the city. I guess he came up with the nickname around then, and it stuck.
That's half right, but I didn't come up with it. I brought a chunk of change for us to play with stuff with each other. A match on just about anything there was a quarter. Probably still is. But I don't think I won even once. Once she stood to win something, it's like a switch went off in her head. I'd never seen Olivia get like that. Some of the teenagers were watching too. They saw everything. Couple challenged her once I ran out of cash, and sure enough, she ended up cleaning house all afternoon. It was all she talked about at school all week until we could go back for more. Only took like a month for her to be recognized as some local champion. Sometime along the way, people started calling her Hot Wheels. I don't remember really who or when, but I do know it's proof she got that fire in her. Whoa! Wow, yeah, that's... Yeah, I had fun back then. Guess I forgot I wasn't supposed to bring it up. Have things really changed that much?
And you did. Again.
Damien hisses to himself. Sorry.
Just can't help yourself. But you're right. That was the best time of my life. The name Hot Wheels belongs to 10-year-old me, not current me.
Hey, that's a great story. To be recognized so well that you got a cool nickname? It sounds amazing. Being a champion, being a winner? Why all the disdain for the title?
I'm not.
What?
I'm not a winner anymore.
Because you don't go to the arcade anymore? If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's only like a half hour away. Olivia looks at Liz like she just recommended everyone watch the newest Netsticks anime. Well, if this story's anything to go by, I'd like to see you be a winner again. Olivia's breath seems to hitch for a moment. And I'm sure these guys want to see it too. Damien's the one that dragged you to our lunch table all this time, right? Look at him. He's nearly keeled over because he's afraid of losing that part of you. And Liz?
I think I'd like to see why you and Damien are really close friends.
Yeah. And just as quick as I gained the bravado to speak up, my words left me immediately. I think I accidentally put Olivia on the spot here. Whoops.
Well...
Her tail rolls along the ground a bit in contemplation.
If you guys really care that much about it, I wouldn't mind it from you guys.
All at once, Damien lights up.
Yes! All right, Hot Wheels is back, and so is his voice. You guys now refers to Liz and Inko.
Damien's shoulders drop for a moment, but he quickly recovers. Hey, if we're getting the name out again, we should go visit the arcade together sometime.
I'd rather not.
Okay, then how about a better name, like... Death Roll? Olivia swings her tail around to trip him, but he's fast enough to jump over it. Damien's words flood out as he contemplates new nicknames for Olivia to try and appease her, many of which are shot down by her or leave Liz and I chuckling. I know I'm stuck on this particular route on whatever scale this game uses. I can definitely see this one going both ways. I feel like I'm kind of locked into like at least a medium, a middle ending perhaps. That sounds what I'm aiming towards. It uses a 6x6 grid. Still a long way to go. Okay. Use it. Okay. Oh, and I guess you come from the same cloth as memes then. Suppose I shouldn't be surprised that I'm getting people from the broader Wani community. All right. Well, hopefully I won't do poorly in your eyes then, Pent. Gradually, our giggles died down. Hey, you like dating? Fair enough. Gradually, our giggles died down from the four of us the four of us chatted a bit more about the day in general. I'm gonna comment when someone plays Gator game, others of my wretched ilk will creep in. Oh boy, I keep making mentions about your Gator Pit memes, but maybe that just should be like the general community name, the Gator Pit. I do voice acting and I hunt mainly for these kind of things, even though Wani has no voices. That's interesting. Frickin' empty can. Got so much random cans on my desk. I need to do some major cleaning. Eventually, Damien and Liz headed their respective ways, with Olivia deciding to stick around. Most of the school has filtered out to their various homebound rides or to their after-school activities, leaving Olivia and I alone. Hey, I'll roll with you. Really? I mean, I don't mind, of course. It's nothing. House is only a few blocks away anyway. Besides, I'm sure someone would beat you up and take your lunch money if I didn't. There's plenty of time to make it to the next train, so the two of us take it easy. The sun finally managed to break through the autumn clouds, making the walk almost unseasonably warm. Man, I thought the last day of summer was weeks ago. It was. I don't mind it staying warm longer, though. Feels pretty great to me. Olivia gives her chair an extra hard push, letting herself glide by unaided for long enough to stretch out her arms to bask in the sunlight. I might have figured you'd like the heat. Most reptiles would. Oh, what? Because I'm a dino? No, not like that. I'm just playing. Relax. You're pretty touchy on that stuff, aren't you? The two of us finally make it to the train platform, nestled as if it's the main street. I can see the train for a few blocks away, our walk timed up with its arrival perfectly. I just think it's important to be educated is all. Even if you're, what, the only human at our school? Olivia flashes me a cheeky grin as my train pulls up. I've got to admit, but her mischievous nature is a little infectious. As the train doors open, I leave Olivia with one final jab, something I know she'd appreciate. Hey, whatever you say, Hot Wheels. I neatly dodge out of the way of her slashing claws, stepping smartly onto the train as the doors close. Inko, you son of a bitch! Get back here! As the doors ding shut behind me, I can see an irate and still blushing Olivia waving her fist as the train begins to What the fuck was that? Why did the camera jerk down? Still giggling, I manage to squeeze myself into a seat next to a yellow-scaled woman smelling faintly of hot dogs. You know, I may pay for that comment later. But the look on her face was totally worth it. Cheeky reference to Snoot there, I imagine. As the school year progresses, the days start to feel like they're moving along much faster. A part of it may be the change of the season, however slight that change may be. While the calendar says it's officially fall, the only thing I've really noticed was the increasing number of clouds in the sky. Better safe than sorry, though, which is why I brought my fancy compact carbon fiber umbrella. Still, Things have started to be routine for me in the mornings. Wake up, throw on my clothes, consider eating breakfast before realizing I'd wrecked my stomach, walk to the station with a featherlight umbrella in hand. Oh, you! And wouldn't you know it, I ended up having another chat with Mr. Ferris on the ride to school. Hello, Mr. Nito. How are you this morning? Doing fine, sir. Thank you. And how are you? I'm doing well. So, my niece told me over the weekend that you and Olivia were in a predicament of some sort. Yeah. Olivia was being picked on by someone, but it's not a problem anymore. I see. Well, that is unfortunate to hear, and strange, considering the substantial funding the school gets for anti-student harassment programs. What good is all that tax money if classmates are still ragging on each other? If it means anything, Olivia knows how to handle herself, and I was there to support her. That's fine, but the issue is this sort of thing shouldn't be happening to begin with. I appreciate the sentiment, but telling people not to be shit to one another is kind of like, impossible. Reasonably, anyway. That aside, Liz has gotten somewhat enthusiastic recently regarding Olivia. She's surprised at how animated she's gotten. Ever since that get-together at Randall's place, I think. I'd wager you have something to do with it, no?
Maybe a little.
Yeah, it was certainly rocky in the beginning, but we've been warming up to each other. It's nice seeing a different side of her, even if it's brief. I don't know, can I take credit for that? We all have unique chances to make a change, Inko. If you're good at grasping them, then that in itself is something to be proud of. How do you know it's really something to change? How do you know it's really a chance to do anything? He lets out a deep, reverberating chuckle. Well, to flip our usual script and let you take in an old phrase, a friend of mine once told me, if you see a fork in the road, take it. Yeah? Thanks, Mr. Ferris. Like my mornings, the school days have become a routine as well. Slave through PE with Damien, see Livia's new doodles and sketches in art class, watch Liz lose her mind tutoring Damien at lunch, talk shop with Ben. Though now I have to avoid Mia like the plague, because she's surely out to kill me. All said, I think St. Hammond has been my best school experience out of... Man, I've lost count of how often I've moved. Must be the fresh head trauma. As for today, it's been raining pretty recently, so Coach Sully made us play more dodgeball in the gym. Oh, do I get to do more soldier? Mia was definitely gunning for me with the way she launched them at me with the speed of a catapult. Yep, dodgeball. I rest in the Atticans class, popping my spine against the curve of my chair. There are very few things that those type of classroom desks are good for. Popping your back is definitely one of them. Apparently today's a short day because of some assembly, so the period will end much earlier than usual. $5, it's some anti-bullying thing because of the incident and your conversation with Mr. Ferris. It also means we got most of the period to slack off. Do homework. I glance at the desk next to me in hopes of catching Olivia's latest artistic masterpiece when I notice she's not drawing, and instead only fidgeting. Hey, Olivia, you seem a bit nervous. Everything all right? Oh, yeah, sorry, it's just that I've been hearing rumors that the school's shared drive might have been corrupted. Wait, really? Yeah, really. How would something like that happen? Not sure, but I'm scared that I might have messed with the art contest submissions. I think you should check out your entry on the website, just to make sure it's okay. Technology, don't fail me now. With urgency, I take out my phone and type in the school's website. Fast fingers lead me to the art contest tab. Can't this loading bar go any slower? Finally, the page loads in and... Oh. Looks like the submissions have been closed.
What? I hold the phone up for Olivia to show her the page.
The submissions have been closed since voting started last week.
Oh.
Sheesh, I thought Mr. Eradicant had spooked me. Olivia's all seized up. Well, that's quite reassuring. With the submissions closed, there's no chance of any hacker messing with them. Olivia doesn't seem convinced, still drumming her fingers on her desk. Hopefully she'll feel loads better when the preliminary winners are revealed. Speaking of which, when are As the bell sounds, the class begins to pack their things, and Eradicant corrals everybody into a single file line. All right, everybody, we have an assigned row, so stick together. Before I join the rest of the line, I look back at Olivia, who seems to be stalling. Come on, I'll walk with you. That seems to stir something up in her, and she glances up to me while hastily shoving a notebook into her bag. Yeah, I'm coming. As we head out the door, I notice Olivia shuffling her hoodie a lot. She was going to submit something because we had encouraged her to do so. But because submissions are closed, she couldn't do that, and that's what she was fidgeting about. It's not a long walk to the auditorium, and despite Eradicant's best attempts, most of the class splinters off to sit with their friends. Having expected this, he shrugs and makes his way over to the back of the auditorium where the other teachers are. Olivia and I are left with a struggling crowd trying to filter into the cramped theater of the school. It's going to be difficult finding some seats. It's fine, I have a spot. Olivia wheels herself down the pathway, to which I follow suit. She heads down the aisle until we're at the first row of seats, where usually the handicap stuff is. There's a vacant spot where a typical seat would be with a faded handicap sign. Olivia parks her chair into the empty spot, to which I take the seat next to her. Beats best seats in the house, right? Can't complain. As the hall fills with more students, my anticipation rises. This is going to be the cringy moment. This is going to be the high stress problem. Oh man, I can hardly wait for the announcements. So, do you think I have a chance? Huh? Oh, maybe. Photography isn't super popular, but... Olivia folds her hands in her lap, staring straight ahead as her voice trails off. I knew that, but I'm still hopeful. Hey guys! What? I have to remind myself that this is normal. Hey Liz. I can't believe it's finally here. Gosh, I'm so excited. Me too. By the way, where's Damien? Hey guys! I'm over here! Damien's in the far back of the auditorium, yelling and waving his hands in the air to catch our attention. He's gonna get in trouble for that. Frills, sit down! Damien immediately stops and takes his seat. With tempered expectations, we both sit in silence for just a few moments before Principal Scaler walks up on stage and taps on a standing microphone. Okay, everyone, we got a whole bunch of important announcements to make, so I'll make them quick so we can all have an early lunch. As soon as the idea of going out for an early lunch is brought up by Principal Scaler, the entire room goes silent as vigil. I guess when it comes to early lunch, it's serious business. I love how Damien's still in the back here. Over the next 15 minutes, Principal Scaler goes over important events coming up in the school year. Most I would consider standard things like pep rallies for the sports teams or bake sales to fundraise for upcoming field trips, and even something about new clubs being formed, such as the Japanese Animation Appreciation Society, JAAPS. Is this an erroneous capitalization? Not the best acronym, if I had to say. No? Okay. Japs. Tongue firmly in cheek. Otherwise, it's all mostly boring housekeeping stuff when one got right down to it. I almost wonder why such announcements warranted an assembly when the mood suddenly shifts with Scalar's next big announcement.
Now that we got the main stuff out of the way, I've saved the best announcement for last. St. Hammond is proud to announce the 5 semi-finalists for the annual Fresh Start Art Contest.
And here we go.
Cheers and applause roars, loud enough to make my ears ring.
Yet I'd be lying if I said I also wasn't excited for the reveal of just who had made it to the semifinals. Maybe I was giving myself a bit too much credit, but I really wanted to be among those semifinalists. Hey, excitement's always fun. I can almost taste victory, in fact. Now that's just your foot in your mouth. I turned to face Olivia and prepared to cheer alongside her, but I'm stopped in my tracks when I noticed that unlike the rest of her peers, Olivia seemed to be uneasy about the prospect. Almost scared, even. Before I can ask Olivia why her sudden change in mood, Scalar continues with her next words, cutting my train of thought off.
And here we have the 5 semi-finalists.
The pieces of the 5 skillful students who had beaten all the other competitors came up, followed by the names of the victors right above them. Alas, I see no photography submission in sight. At least I gave it a shot, right?
Aw, man, I didn't make it in.
Liz's neck droops down like a melancholy noodle. I can't help but feel pity for the bummed-out Brachiosaurus. Bzz, bzz. Checking my phone, I see.
Tell Liz to come back here, bro.
Oh. I'm... I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. Oh. Neck. Oh boy. I'm sure Damien's got that handled. Despite my sullied mood, I look back to the semi-final winners and can't help but be amazed by them. Each artwork is impressive in their own right, their colors blending wonderfully and the figures beautifully designed. It's easy to see why these were voted as the winners. The last one especially catches my eye, the scenic landscape where the setting sun looks stunning. If not for the slight stylization of the skyline and fantastical color palette, it could probably pass off as a real photograph with some filters pasted over it. I'm no art critic yet, but if I were, I'd label it as a masterpiece and easily the best out of all of them.
Let's give our winners a big round of applause.
The auditorium fills with the usual kind of clapping one would expect in an event like this. Polite, with an underlying tone of interest, though one person felt compelled to constantly make a piercingly high whistle.
We will be displaying the winners' art pieces in room 237. You're welcome to view them during lunch and after school today.
Oh, neato. Principal Scalar continues the rest of the assembly, announcing other events for the school and other minor reminders. Behind me, I see the teachers start psyching themselves up for the Herculean task of getting some 200 hungry dinosaur teenagers out of the room and towards lunch without anyone getting killed. With carnivores, I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often. Principal Scalar finishes and waves back to them to signal it's time.
All right, we're gonna start adjourning to lunch. You all know how this goes, so no just going for the exit.
Being in the first row, we're the first to get up, and there's your first mistake. Oh. Well, it actually worked. I follow behind Olivia until we make it to the hall. Hey, Olivia. She stops and turns a bit. Jeez, is he still anxious about the sight thing earlier? She looks a little pale. I want to check out the winning paintings a bit more. Want to come along? She considers for a moment. No, go on without me. I need to use the restroom. All right, I'll see you at the lunch table then. Olivia nods and starts off down the hall, following the flow of students toward the lunchroom. Let's see, the principal said it was room 237. And of course. First thing I noticed walking into the classroom is the amount of people checking out the gallery. While I didn't expect to be filled to the brim with eager students, there's a decent amount of people here. About a baker's dozen or so. Good one. Not many people do use baker's dozen. I mean, it's only 13, but still. Maybe more will come when they finish up their lunches. Well, I'm here now. Let's take a look at the lucky winners. The pieces are all set on easels in the back of the classroom. Some desks and chairs are moved closer to the front to give each one its own space. One by one, I take a moment to give each canvas a thorough review. The auditorium screen really didn't give the art justice, because now I can really take in the detail of each one by being up close. The color palettes, the brushwork, the subtle nuances. Yeah, I can definitely see all of them having a good shot at getting first prize. But now, it's time to see the one I've been eager to get a look at since it was first shown. Huh. From what I recall from Mr. Yatakon's lessons, it's made with acrylics, explaining why the colors of it seem more vibrant. Oh yeah, acrylics are actually really nice. It stands out in defiance to the other paintings in the contest, most of which were either violently absurdist and meaningless, or muted still lifes of ordinary objects. It's a meadow of mystifying colors, the organic lines drawing the viewer deeper into the piece, and I feel it as though this would be a place I'd wake up to within a fantastical dream. It is very nice. Huh. Looking at this, do they actually paint these, or is this just like the digital representation, or is it like there's an actual canvas piece with this out there somewhere? There's no rigid structure or forced metaphors here, just a fantastical merger of creative expressionism and real-world beauty. Yeah, it is a very lovely rolling hill meadow with some mountains in the background. I feel my fingers itching for the familiar weight of my DSLR. This is a piece that I want to immortalize in my portfolio. It's hands down the winner of the contest in my eyes. I simply must find out who made this. Looks like this breathtaking show of artistic talent was created by semi-finalist winner... What? Inko G. Nito. That's a problem.
That was an amazing mess of mediocre mediocrity.
You can say that again.
Wanna bet?
I feel like that alert... My alerts are usually sentient, but that one was really on the nose. Ah, Inko, I'm glad you swung by. Looks like you're admiring the art contest entries. I told you that St. Hammond's artistic programs were unparalleled. That's not mine. What's not yours? I try to say more, but the words won't leave my mouth. Ben's eyes follow mine to the bottom of the painting in front of me, and I watch as he makes the same realization as I do. Inko, you didn't. Did you paint this? I had no idea your style was so developed, so humble. If I had known, that's not my entry. It's not? No, mine was a photograph. But what's your name doing on this one? Must be some kind of mistake. A million scenarios come to mind. They must have gotten the wrong name somehow. If they did, and I think the real artist would come forward by now, then the submission website must be hacked or broken. But our school checks for stuff like that. If it was, we'd have known by now. Then, Inko, you're sure you didn't submit somebody else's piece by accident?
Of course I didn't. Why would I do something like that? You're the only one who can log into your account, Inko. Suddenly, everything stops. My account. Did somebody... Look, relax, all right? We can get this sorted out. Just don't panic. Ben lowers his voice. But Inko, just to be clear. What? You didn't just get a bit of extra help, right? Ben looks at me through the edge of his glasses, eye to eye. There's some real stakes in the contest. Cheating is taken seriously. Especially fraud. The word echoes around inside me. Fraud. Makes my bones chill. There's ingenuine, faker, liar. They're all bad in different ways, but fraud is just dripping with frigid condemnation. No, I swear. I submitted a photograph. Ben relaxes his shoulders. All right, just making sure. Sorry to alarm you. It's perturbing how we can go from deadly serious to jovial like a flipped switch. It's a skill. You going to be all right? Sorry, I need some air. Hey, feel free. I'll let Scalar know, okay? Yeah, thanks, Ben. No problem. Take it easy. Ben offers me an earnest smile, waving at me as he steps out of the room and down the hall. After some time, I follow him, shambling down the hall as I try to make sense of what just happened. I thought everybody actually liked my photography. But they all thought I was some kind of expert painter instead. I don't even know how to express it. I feel empty. I thought maybe my hard work was finally paying off, but... I submitted the right entry, so what happened? Did somebody change it? And if so, how? Such a good piece, too. What even is there to be gained by putting my name on it? I wander aimlessly through the halls. Now, see, if I wasn't half sure of the direction that the twist is going, it might actually be surprising. The thought of missing lunch passes through my mind, but there's a different sort of emptiness pervading my stomach. Why is this rattling me like it is? Man, it's not like I'm in trouble or anything. Ben's helping me sort this out. Who do you suppose is an amazing painter? Knew about, would want to pass on some help or make it put on a good impression for somebody. Know about the hack. Be questioning about hacker security issues. Coach, no, Mia, or one of her two bitch friends. The one that I've given the truly obnoxious Valley Girl voice to, perhaps. No. I'm betting that it was Olivia that submitted that under my name, Inko's name. Or I don't know. Like, it could be, it might not be. I'm currently at like 50-50 on that one. But we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out. It's not like I'm in trouble or anything. Ben's helping me sort this out. I'm at a loss of what even to think right now. Oh crap, Olivia mentioned something about server issues before. I couldn't see my submission, but... was it just that? Maybe Olivia was right to be worried. Well, duh, why else would she be so nervous? My aimless walking leads me outside the principal's office in the gala. There's that one cityscape painting from the start of the school year. The very first painting I ever saw here, and still one of the best. A vibrant cityscape that morphs the rigid structure of urban planning into a soft and inviting utopia, as if viewed from the eyes of a child. The sky above the city is a beautiful shade of crimson, with radiant clouds clustered along its length. If the art contest submission was the best painting I've ever seen, then this one comes close. I can only imagine the accolades she must have gotten for painting this back then. You know, for a while I've got to have that experience. Yeah, for a while, I got to have that experience. I got to step in the shoes of an artist much better than myself. Maybe that was the intent? All the praise, approval, everything I've been wanting. Just for a while, it was given by an anonymous stranger. Whoever that may be. Actually, this gives me a bit of an idea. If I'm clever and Olivia's up for it, this can be a cool way to get her to show off her painting more. Everyone would like that. Maybe that's what she needs. I could act as, like, a personal publisher for her so she doesn't have to deal with people. Wait a second. Realizing just how bad that idea is? Or realizing what the connection is? I peel down the empty hallway. I need to find Olivia. She couldn't possibly... But why me? Why would she... Thinking about it only increases my worries and desperation to find who I hope to raptor Jesus isn't the culprit. I haphazardly check all the places where Olivia could be, but can't find her anywhere. My hunt for the Baronics leads me to the second floor of the atrium. It feels like there's a lead brick in the pit of my stomach as I internalize my current situation. The soft pattering of rain hitting the window grabs my attention to see a gloom-covered Volcaldera outside. My eyes wander along the school's pathway, covered in mud thanks to the earlier rainfall. Wait a minute. Those look like tracks in the mud. I burst through the main entrance doors, and I'm met with a feeling of droplets hitting my head. Outside, a dark overcast has rolled in. Glad you brought your umbrella. The forecast called for on and off rain during the day, but pretty gnarly clouds. Makes it look almost dusk around. Crap, what am I wasting time for? I follow the trail with urgency, fearing that the rain will wash it away. Looks like it goes down the whole pathway. I ignore my clothes, becoming progressively damp with the water collecting on my shades. Eventually, I round the curve that leads to the bridge and see a distressing item at its end. An empty wheelchair. A wheelchair. Olivia's. Empty of the occupant, toppled on its side. A new fear grips at me, born from the mental imagery provided by that sight. Those cruel thoughts push me up the steps faster than humanly possible, even as my rational mind tries to reassure me. Running across the deck, my breath is caught in my throat when I reach the middle. She's on the ground, head slumped down. There's damaged and soaked school supplies scattered all over the walkway. Oh God, is she okay? My foot shifts, trying to force me closer. Slowly, her head lifts up to the sound of my shoes squelching on the floor. Inko? Her tear-stained eyes stare at me with dead expression, and her voice sounds weak. Olivia. I feel like I can finally breathe again. At least she's not dead. Slowly, Olivia pushes herself up and notices she's lying atop a pile of paper shreddings. The feeling of relief slowly fades away, and I remember why I was looking for her. We stay silent, only staring at each other as the rain continues to bear down on us. She simply sits there, letting herself grow more and more soaked from the rain. Do you want to talk? No, not out in the open. I grab my compact umbrella from my backpack and unfurl it. It doesn't do much to dry Olivia off, but at least she's not getting more soaked. The umbrella is placed between us and the elements against the ledge, forming a personal canopy above us. Here, now we're alone. There's space next to Olivia to take a seat. It's odd. We've sat together before, but sitting on the ground in the rain. And the room is just a little claustrophobic. There's bits of paper melted into the pavement, soaked by rain. Though torn apart and waterlogged, I can sort of make it out. A tree, a rough sketch of one anyway. Like the one that stood prominently in my false submission.
So, you did do it. Inko, please, I can explain. I didn't have a choice. What? I know what I did was wrong, but I didn't have any other way. It wasn't a choice to not trick me? She avoids looking at me, focusing on the scraps of paper scattered about the floor like confetti. It wasn't to trick you. I get it. You're mad at me. I'm not mad. I'm just confused. I thought we were good friends. I wasn't expecting it. Expecting you. She pauses to give her throat some respite. Her usual water bottle isn't anywhere nearby. A shaky breath escapes her mouth. When you came around, I thought you were no different than the others. That you were some self-centered, pretentious midwit who only cares about his image. That's when I got the idea of using you to swap out your art with mine. You didn't seem like the kind of person who cared about how he gets the attention from others, just that he gets it. Her description of my character feels really reductive, but the ache in my chest tells me it hits a little too close to home. But that's not what I think of you now. Huh? Yadakan's the one person I can trust. So when he went to bat for you, saying we'd make good friends, I was worried. What's so special about this guy? I honestly got scared he'd be wrong. That you'd be just like everyone else, and I'd be setting myself up for failure. But worse than that, Inko, I was afraid he'd be right, and then have to face what I'd done to myself. And now I've gone and done something like this. Switching my contest entry? She nods, swallowing hard. I wasn't thinking. Suddenly, everything was out of balance. Everything I'd created, all my work, my own little world was suddenly changing, and I had no control of it. I just had to do something. I didn't know I was doing that. I'm sorry. She stops to process my words and continues. I knew I'd get caught. It's stupid. I was hoping for it, even. Someone to figure out that it was swapped so it would be changed and everyone would be none the wiser. She turns to face me with silver eyes welled with tears. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I just don't want to go back to being the person I used to be. The person who didn't care about hurting you. Her head tilts downward with a violent hitch of breath. Ivory claws extend and grip at her knees in a painful display, and yet Olivia chokes back any sound she'd make. Her body shudders with every heavy breath from her, and I realize that every last defensive barrier she had was completely gone. Olivia's laid herself bare, leaving only the crying girl desperately trying to silence her pitiful tears. Asking why the why at this point from what we know should be kind of obvious, especially after that conversation involving the history of Hot Wheels. Much as she has been unwilling to say anything about it, I'm willing to bet that she desperately wanted that same attention again. She got it as a freshman, but then had the expectations hit. Felt like she couldn't meet them, but then wanted one last go at it. Either that, or I'm thinking far too deeply on this, and I'm careening straight towards the bad ending. Faced with these unbidden words from Olivia, I'd have to be a heartless bastard to do anything but accept her apology. Exactly. I'm like, we can be frustrated and deal with it, but accepting it is the better way in this case. It's clear that the guilt has been rotting in her conscience ever since. What she did was wrong, no doubt about it. But then again, thinking of her circumstances, how can I blame her? How could anyone? I probably would have ended up having to do the same thing in her shoes. At this point, Olivia's put herself through enough stress as it is. If there's one thing she needs to hear right now, it's that I forgive her. I don't hate you, Olivia. You don't? No, I don't. I won't lie. I definitely felt hurt when I first found out. But the fact that you're willing to admit your mistakes shows that you're growing as a person. I'm really glad to hear that we're friends. It's refreshing to hear her say it. I was worried she was only just putting up with me. You said it, not her. Eh. Olivia seems understandably puzzled over my lack of anger towards her. I figured you'd be more upset. Is this just your pity? If so, I don't want it. It's not pity, Olivia. I'm accepting your apology. I don't want you to feel guilty about it. The sooner we can put this all behind us, the better. But I can tell you're a good person, so don't worry about it, alright? I offer her my best smile. Olivia slowly nods. When you put it that way, I guess. But still. Truth be told, I deserve to fail. To actually face consequences. I'm such a fucking fraud. All over a damn painting. Olivia, you did what you thought you had to do. And you're saying sorry for the consequences. That's all that matters. I scooch closer to Olivia. Huh? That was you taking action in a way I never would have guessed. A crime of passion, I think it's called. You know, usually just people just murder somebody in a crime of passion. I'm probably wrong, but she gets the idea. The world runs on those. Not particularly. You don't need to change. I don't think you did anything wrong. Okay, that was the wrong choice. And that's definitely the wrong choice. She leans her head against the wall of the railing before looking at me with a half smile. Thanks. You're right. I'm just throwing everything away like an idiot. I'm just scared. I'm here with you. I coax the rest of the tired grin from her, and she looks down at the shredded papers again. After that, everything was said and done. Things became quiet. Wish the rain would. Beneath the solace of my umbrella, we relax together. At least until Olivia begins shifting uncomfortably. I sit and watch as she takes her calves and shifts them to one side with one hand. Her tail comes around and presses into the paper-filled floor before her, keeping her upright as she starts to lean forward. Finally, with the strength of her tail and one arm, Olivia lifts her hips from the floor and swings her shins fully beneath her. She smiles as she kneels over me. You just gonna sit there? Crap, I guess I was gawking stupidly. But it's just so fascinating, seeing the girl maneuver herself in these odd yet well-practiced ways. The tail helps, I'm sure. Kinda jealous, actually. I wish I had a tail to do some of the things she could. I press my hands down on the floor and push myself up. I don't know why I had thought to stand, but instead I shifted myself to a kneeling position too. We're face to face now. For a split second, I feared the worst as Olivia drew me into a hug. Still plenty of time for her to eat your neck. I don't know what she would do, but this? I like this. For how strong her arms are, and how they are wrapped around my chest feels exceptionally tender. My own arms have enveloped her, turning the embrace into a similarly soft way. And as her arms loosen, I draw back, though I don't want to take my hands off her. That was nice. Don't make it weird. Sorry about that. Through the sound of rainfall hitting the umbrella, my ears suddenly pick up the noise of what sounds like squeaking? I look down and see that there's something shuffling in Olivia's pocket. The fucking rat. A little beast emerges from its hiding spot with a squeaky yawn, to which Olivia offers her her hand for it to use as a platform. Hey, little guy. Nearly forgot about you. Had a nice nap? That's a rat. Oh, right. You two haven't met each other. Inko, this is Guts. Guts, meet Inko. Oh, hi, Guts. I awkwardly wave at the apprehensive-looking rodent. Olivia lifts Guts to her shoulder gracefully, like her hand is an elevator for him. You brought him to school? Well, yeah. I just really needed him today since, you know, all the crap that's happened. She gives Guts a few scritches under his chin. I bring him sometimes when things get rough. And nobody noticed? You haven't. Touché. Yadakan did once. He just told me not to let him run around the school. Otherwise, it would be considered a health hazard or something. The tardy bell rings out in the distance. We're late for our next classes. I'm sure Yadakan will understand. Ben's got the wheels turning. There is going to be consequences. And if their school is as strong on stuff as well... Uh-oh. We should probably get back to class. Here, hold this. I give Olivia the umbrella so she and the rat can stay dry while I go fetch the wheelchair. You did the thing! Nice, we have the Gator Hugger achievement. By now it's settled into some mud. This wheelchair has definitely seen better days. After dusting off the dirt and pooling water the best I can, I make my way back. Thanks. She offers the umbrella back, but I make sure to hold it above her. I keep the wheelchair steady with one hand as Olivia climbs into the seat, using her tail to help herself up. We stand in the rain in silence for a moment, only sharing content glances. So, what do we do about the contest now? That's a good question. Ben was there when I saw my name on the painting. He already went to tell someone. So, like you said, no harm, no foul. They will view it as harm. They will view it as foul. That variety of cheating and deception, having gone noticed, will not be good for both parties. And the hammer is likely to swiftly drop, especially if Liz was the one on the computers to figure it out. I'm guessing. What about your own submission? I ruined it. I scratched the back of my head. It wouldn't have won anyway. It's just a picture. Oh. I thought it was pretty okay. Hearing those words from Olivia sends a strange flash of heat to my face. It's not unpleasant, but again, those honest words from her really do cut through me for some reason. Thanks. A loud squeak draws my eyes to Guts as he stands atop Olivia's shoulder. You too? A wry smile stretches across Olivia's face. I think it means Guts is saying it's actually so-so. Hey! Yeah, cut him some slack, Guts. Inko didn't have any time to make anything for the contest. He's got some high standards. Yep, it's why I've gotten so good. The sheer absurdity of it. I don't know which of us broke first, but our laughter fills the air, heard only by us as the rainfall cuts off all other noise. So, now what? I don't know. I don't want to go yet. Still pretty worn out. Worn out? A smile crosses my face as a wicked idea comes to mind. Welp, too bad. What? I walk around behind Olivia, grinning like a mad idiot. Inko, what are you doing? Inko? Inko! Her head tries to follow me as I stand right behind her chair. I figured that pushing your chair around is really tiring, so how about I help you out? Olivia brushes and looks away. Fine, but just for today. Returning to the campus was certainly awkward. Passers-by shot us looks. It's not the most common scene to see a girl in a wheelchair just roll in sopping wet and tracking mud in. More likely, though, is because said girl had taken to using my umbrella to hide herself from those looks. She was already extremely red in her face. It was a conundrum. Drop the umbrella and let people see her, or keep it up and draw more attention. I shall name it the Nito Theorem. She's gonna kill me if I ever attempt to publish it. I'll kill you if you ever attempt to publish it. But making our way back to Olivia's current class, she simply shook her still concealed head. I didn't really have much of a choice. From all that I knew of the girl, her last classes were all in the upper levels. And she was in possession of the elevator key. And I was in possession of the weakest knees here in St. Hammond, at least according to Coach Solly. So I wheeled her to my current photography class. On the way over, she keeps bending her head back to peek at me, like she's making sure I'm still there. Knocking on his closed door, the pterosaur professor didn't even bat an eye at the poorly hidden girl. He simply stepped aside and let us through. Ben was looking our way, but I chose to pay him no mind. After everything I heard, Olivia didn't even register he was there. She simply rolled herself to the back of the classroom and through a door into what I'd always guessed was Yatakan's supply closet. You know what? I'm an idiot. It's a dark room, isn't it? The stares of my other classmates abated thankfully as our teacher continued his lecture. Taking my own seat, I focused on Yatakan. As much as I could, at least. My muddled thoughts kept me distracted the whole period. Just before the bell rings, Yatakan stares me dead in the eye. He points a stern finger directly at me, then to the floor to signal, "You stay." Once everyone else has left, he closes the door and locks it. Uh-oh. So, care to explain? Explain, sir? He opens the door in the back and signals Olivia to come on out. The mud, the drenched clothes, the declaration of sanctuary. I was having a bad day. She's looking a bit better. Still drained, but she's not shivering. Her rat sits on her lap, and the Yatakan extends a finger down to scratch under its chin. I can see that. He takes a seat against a nearby desk and waves a hand for Olivia to go on. When she doesn't, he shifts his hand to me. I look between the two of them. Mr. Yatakan's expectant leer. And Olivia's pleading eyes. Ultimately, I shake my head in the negative. I just helped Olivia get out of the rain. Of course. He slouches further atop the desk. Can I tell you some other time? Sure. Whatever it was, it looks like you've recovered pretty well. Olivia doesn't answer verbally, instead giving him a bashful smile and nod. Was it about your work again? Yeah. Oh, this girl. He turns to me and points a thumb at her. Why are you on a pedestal? You know, the work she's so concerned about absolutely wrecks the grading curve in my class. For the sake of the other students, I had to put a limit on extra credit assignments. Really? Yeah, never before would I even consider such a restraint. Why punish someone for working too hard, I would think to myself. Then 4 years ago, this little green goblin comes rolling into my class. Half a semester and more than a few angry calls from parents later, my hands were tied. Young lady simply does too dang much! Olivia smiles, but doesn't look up from her pet. Up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, I'm done. It was that much better than all the other students? Well, no. I don't grade by technique. If I did, you'd be in trouble, Inko. Olivia's work was very good even then, but the main thing I admire is how motivated she can be. I haven't seen someone so enthused to just paint in years. Certainly haven't seen anyone so enthused I had to change the rules like that. You were worried it'd stop me. Was I? That definitely sounds like me. But it didn't stop you, not even a little. Heck, that year you even got me to see some things differently.
I don't think I ever did anything like that.
You did when you came in after class the Friday before Mother's Day. Take a look at this. I'm handed the quill pen, and the first thing I note about it is how soft the feather portion is. It's the special pen you always use. It's actually from my wife. Whoa. Inspecting it closer, I can now see more of the intricate details. From the faded engravings of the shank to the maintained but worn point. It's well made and kept, and yet the feather and brass showed its age. She came in that afternoon with a whole stack of crumpled painting drafts, so frustrated she couldn't get it right and so determined to make it perfect. I'd say, any of these would be great. Your aunt would love any of these. And she fires back, if it's not good enough for me, why would it be good enough for someone I love? I did not have an answer. So I tell her to take a step back. We take a few hours to go over fundamentals once more. I send her home to try to getting it right over the weekend, and come Monday, she returns and hugs me first thing. That Friday night, though, what she said was on my mind. I talked about it all night with my wife. Then that morning, I decided to make a change for myself. My wife was molting at the time, so there was always a new feather or three in our blankets each morning. I took the biggest one, preserved it right, got a bit of help to make it into a real pen. And I've used it ever since. It helps me to remember to do my job right, for the people I care about, and for the people my students care about. I think what it was, it's that childlike reasoning that comes so naturally for the youth. That reasoning makes a type of innocent, earnest dedication, something I think I'd lost for a while.
Don't give me so much credit.
You haven't lost it, have you? Good. Don't lose it for me, okay?
Okay.
Yatakan yawns and stretches. You feeling all right to go to your next class?
Yes, I'm ready.
Great. He claps a hand over my back. We should do this again sometime. Mr. Yatakan ushers us out of his classroom as the late bell trills, handing us a note he'd rapidly scrawled on. Miss Prockling didn't seem enthused to see us come in late, but sighed as she read the late note from Yatakan. As I took my usual spot, I felt something odd in the corner of my eye. Looking up, it was to see Olivia looking my way, with that smile on her face. One that spoke so many words, yet I couldn't figure out what. All I could do in turn was try to match it, before focusing on Miss Prockling's latest lecture. As more time passes, the art contest fades into the background. Last week, I had a scare when Principal Scalar called me to her office. I feared that they figured out what Olivia did and assumed I was part of it, just as she predicted. Luckily, that wasn't the case. Instead, she wanted to inform me that they had no leads as to who could have done the swap, and since it was tampered, it would be removed from the contest. No skin off my back, honestly. As compensation, she gave me one of the runner-up prizes, a coupon for some pizza from some Italian restaurant called Dino Mo's. If we end up going back there, I'm going to enjoy you dropping back into that voice. Not the biggest pizza fan, but not a bad prize to get after all of this. Saving it for a rainy day. However, I found myself in a conundrum of my own doing. My peers' concerns about my entry were resolved, but I hadn't accounted for the new questions about my portfolio. My paint portfolio. The few times I showed off my photography work, they'd be mildly impressed at best. They were never upfront about it either. No, instead I got the runaround. Oh, yeah, these are nice, Inko. Not bad, but, what about what you did for the contest? I can't even be mad about it, since it's another misunderstanding, unintended lie, from my side of things. But then I had a thought. What if it wasn't a lie? What if I was actually good at painting? And after working at it for the past month... Yeah, no, I can't unscrew this.
For the past 3 weeks, I've been staying after school, making use of one of the club rooms to practice. Yee, Shinko, did you listen to any of the tips I gave you? Using everything at my disposal, namely the textbooks for Mr. Yatakan and how-to tutorials online, I'd stayed as late as possible trying to get to the same skill level as Olivia. Oh, that's a mistake. And as I stare at the horrid acrylic monstrosity before me, I can do nothing but weep at my own inadequacies. Not actually weep, but squinting at the Lovecraftian horror before me as I can maybe see a little progress drowning in the madness of the excess paint. Olivia had made good on her promise to teach me around the time I asked Mr. Yatakan to borrow the keys to the spare room. And while I memorized all of her teachings down to the letter. What am I even looking at? Are you trying an abstract sort of thing here? It was an attempt at a self-portrait, actually. Could probably post it online and some rich asshole would buy it. Is that good? No. Never trust the opinions of people on the internet. I learned that the hard way.
Just as I thought.
What's that?
After this show, nothing hurts.
Another near sentient alert.
After a brief period of awkward silence, I let myself collapse on the stool behind me and toss off the oily apron in frustration. At this rate, I'm gonna be a double fraud or something. Splat. I don't even have the energy to get angry. Probably looks better now, at least. How did Olivia get so good at this?
Constant practice is one thing, but one can't always overcome the innate talent.
Olivia, please, you've got to have some actual advice for me. She quietly hums to herself, slipping away a notebook she had splayed across her lap into her nearby bag. Well, when I want to draw, it's usually because I've got something on my mind. What, like inspiration?
Probably closer to needing to distract yourself.
Kinda? More so that I just envision something and I want to put that on a canvas. Amused then. I don't really get it. The doors of the studio flies open and Damien quickly storms inside. Inko, Olivia, you guys here? We're right here, dead center. What, did he go blind? After a moment of surprise, I raise my arm to catch his attention. Damien, what's wrong? The hyperactive Dilophosaurus spots me, taking a final breath before jogging over. Guys, I need to ask you something. What? Is everything all right? Is something happening? I can't help but panic. I've never seen Damien this flustered. Do you want to come to the arcade with me and Liz?
Every show, Statler and Waldorf sit up here. Show after show after show. Now I see why.
You see why they come?
No, I see why they left. Oh,
I let my pizza get cold. Screaming Sicilian is good, but nerd cheese it ain't. Best fucking cold pizza you could ever have. Is that it? Yeah, that's what I said. Wait, when was this decided? I thought something bad had happened. Nope, just asking. Liz already has the car prepped and everything. What car? A convertible or a moonroof? Moon/sunroof. If she's driving, how do you fit your neck in a Prius? Oh. I probably should have expected that, but still. How did you know we were here? I didn't. I just kept opening doors until I found you two. I've been at it for a while, actually. Damien's eyes dart at the canvas that lies on the floor next to me. You're working on your next masterpiece? Oh, painting sideways is probably one of your trade secrets, huh? Olivia hides her snicker with her hand.
don't worry, I won't tell a soul.
Yeah, that's right. Don't tell anybody. I leaned down to pick up the canvas and place it upright, deciding to remove the ugly painting and place it in the corner of the room to dry.
Anyway, how about it?
To the arcade? The olive baryonyx fidgets, her brow lowered in contemplation as he considers the question. The arcade? It's not like I had any other plans today. Sure, why not?
All right, let's go.
Wait, don't just meow.
Inko, Olivia, there you are. Damien was taking so long to get you that I was just about to come find you myself.
This time, both Damien and I are wheezing for air. Despite Olivia's protest and hesitation, Damien had wasted no time in grabbing her by the handlebars and sprinting for the exit. I had chased after them, all the while Olivia screamed like a banshee as she was pushed through the hallway at a breakneck pace. Yeah, just take a deep breath and stand upright. Olivia's claws dug into her armrest, and she's definitely trying to kill Damien with her glare, which he happily ignores. Why didn't you just message me or something?
I wanted to, but didn't want to ruin your concentration, man.
Oh, and barging in!
So instead, you kicked the art room door open.
Yep. Liz had the good grace to look embarrassed on Damien's behalf.
But yeah, gave you a little bit of extra time, right? You've been staying late for forever now.
I can't hide the wince. It hadn't occurred to me that more people would notice.
Relax, it's not like you're the only one.
Yeah, sometimes I need to stay behind for student council and club meetings. Right, sure. So,
come on, the car's in the student section.
The Dino duo start toward the student parking lot, heading towards a rather old but well-kept sedan. Olivia grumbles silently to herself, but follows her nonetheless.
Come on, dude, it'll take a few minutes to get Olivia in, and then 30 to get to the arcade.
It won't take that long, damn it! Olivia huffs and wheels herself to the passenger side, opening the door for herself. Do you need any... It's fine! To punctuate her statement, Olivia uses her strong arms to lift herself on her armrests. Then, with more grace than I thought possible from the olive-scaled girl, she managed to flop down onto the passenger seat. I stare at the abandoned chair, wondering where to put it.
I've got room in the trunk, Inko.
Clunk. The trunk lid pops up with a heavy thunk to punctuate it. It takes me more time than I'd like to admit to figure out how to undo the locks to actually collapse the chair, but once it's done, I'm able to slide it into the spacious storage area easily. Damien had already hopped through the window of the front passenger seat by the time I'm done, as if he'd practiced the maneuver. He probably has. Clack, clack, clack. I simply open the door behind Liz's seat and watch a pile of soda cans empty onto the pavement below.
Sorry, those are from this morning. I just toss them in the back seat when I'm done.
Surprised Liz doesn't make you use a bag.
I do.
Damien pulls up an overflowing plastic bag as if it were a trophy. Why haven't you tossed all those bottles out already?
I'm saving them for a project about recycling. Plus, I'm also going to use a couple of them for a sculpture. Saves me the trouble of going out and finding aluminum.
What is your usual medium, Liz?
And I get to drink as much soda as I want.
I don't really say anything as Damien scoops out the rest of the cans from the floor of the car and puts them in a new bag, which he then stuffs in the car's trunk before giving me and Olivia a thumbs up.
All right, dudes, we're good to go. Yeah!
I nod and slink into the semi-clean seat. My hand searches for the buckle of the seatbelt and brushes against something warm and soft. There's a tiny gasp next to me, and the comfortable mystery in my hand is yanked away. Huh? I look to Olivia, her hand held to her chest. Her green face is a scarlet tinge, and her mirror-shade eyes glare holes through my head. That's like the fourth adjective. You okay? The emerald scale girl turns her maw from me. I stifle a mystery chuckle at that. Not exactly a mystery, if you ask me. The warmth in my palm fades, however, and leaves my hand feeling lost. Oh, okay, all safety checks are done. Fucking hell! Seriously, Liz's neck is just a prop in this game, isn't it?
I now realize television has one major advantage over a live stage show.
Oh? What's that?
A television you can turn off.
Go back a screen? Let's see. You can see what she wraps her neck around. Oh shit! You're right. Okay. That is some attention to detail. Huh. I am impressed more and more by this game's thoughtfulness. If by that I only mean just how much thought has gone into the game. It's impressive, not gonna lie. Alright, so we're back to the funny wrapping of the neck. Liz gets in the driver's seat and grips the steering wheel. Outside, she's craning her neck to check on the mirrors and tires. Wait, Liz drives with her head sticking out the window? Liz pokes her head in. What's that? What's that? Her neck snakes inside and coils around the hook in the middle of the car. Then, with practiced motion, her neck continuously coils till her head sits atop the neck roll, as if no different from someone putting on shoes. It kind of looks like a giant scale-covered scarf. There's even still enough space for her to see the windows and check behind her. Inko? It wasn't anything important. Alright. But, the city, right? I'd actually been wanting to see it a bit more up close, for Iatakan's class. Hey, do you know how much gas money it'd burn to take a detour around here? Good, because neither do I. Let's do it! Hey, what? No! I barely have enough as is. The view on the way is fine. I'm looking forward to it as well. You sure? Yeah, I'll point out some stuff I'll remember along the way. You're my tour guide now. Don't make me change my mind. Glad that's settled. Everyone buckled in, right? Liz pulls away from the school parking lot, starting down the opposite direction I've always entered and exited. Weird to think, but the edge of my world was as close as a right turn out of my own school. It's really interesting to think about that, right? What is, like, your normal sphere of the world? Then again, I still haven't been living here long. Anybody want a station? I don't think I've ever listened to the radio here either. Liz and Olivia hardly seem to glance in Damien's direction as well. Hey, suit yourselves! I don't know, man, I do regularly drive an hour to try out new restaurants. But hey, more power to you. I love trying out new stuff too. It's just at that same moment, the mention of that just kind of made me start thinking about how much of a rut I'm in, and just how like limited my usual spheres are in a lot of ways. But anyway. Within the span of a few seconds, the natural ambiance of the road is replaced with a loud sound of decades-old rock music, sending vibrations throughout the car and everybody in it. At least he's got good taste. Just as fast as it comes, however, it stops as Liz haphazardly yanks the volume knob counterclockwise, toning the music down to a bearable level. Killjoy. Damien frowns for a moment, but he doesn't seem to contest her decision. Bzz.
What the? I turned off all the notification stuff except for messages and calls, and in between all the people I messaged, there's only one who isn't inside the car. Checking the screen, I see... Any song request, man? Seriously? I don't know, Damien. As long as it isn't twangy country music. I beg your pardon? Sure, sure. Wait, you've been texting? How long? Yeah, this is like the first week of school. What the heck, dude? Let me see your phone. I hand it over, open on the contact creation page. She taps the first few numbers and pauses. Then sheepishly yanks her phone from her coat pocket. She doesn't know her own number? Well, if you don't use it. Olivia finishes tapping her number in and hands it back. She's entered herself as Live Long. Huh. Sounds vaguely oriental. Bzz. Neat icon. Yep, got it. Bzz. Okay, you know what? That explains where you've been getting, why you've been sending all of those rat pictures in Discord at me before we start playing. Yep. Kinda hard to disagree with you on that one there, memes. That was uncalled for. That's why I sent it. She giggles at her own joke, and despite being the butt of it, the mood in the car is too high to hold it against her. Water. Before long, the dense forestry starts giving way to more urban developments. More and more decorative palm trees start dotting the paths as well. The silhouette of the city gets closer, and we approach one of those spaghetti junctions leading up to it. The result of decades of poor infrastructure decisions, multi-million-dollar projects promising to fix all the traffic if they just built one more overpass. Olivia's paying close attention to her phone. She scrolls lazily through some forum. What's so funny? If she makes some remark about something that Anon said in the last game. Oh, nothing. Hey. Lizard Lounge? Oh boy, you're still browsing that, Olivia? Right, so this is a bit of an obscure reference for normies such as yourself. Give me a sec. Well, thank you for that. Yeah? Look, I know what a lounge lizard is, if that's anything of that variety. Oh, imagine I just wait for memes to drop me the meme. I love Minnie. Like, his miniature games. This is referencing Crystal Cafe, an offshoot of 4chan from a few decades ago. Still around. The gimmick point is that it's female only, no icky boys allowed. Ah! Alright, fair enough. That would be a corner of the internet I am not aware of. So sure. Does seem like I've ran into that name before at one point, but I just never cared enough to look. Alright. Anyway, so what is it? Don't tell him! It's this weird exclusionary chat room. They only allow dinosaur women. Men, and rather specifically, human men are banned. Racial segregation! Olivia showed me once. The people on it are really weird. Humans are banned? You weren't supposed to tell him. It's the last safe house for us on the internet. Oh, good. I think there's probably better places for that online for you to associate with. Tell me about the racial segregation. It's not that. It's just how it has to be for our safety. Some dino girl can be doing anything at all, and there's always at least 3 guys in the comments saying she looks like.
I have poked my nose into it and confirmed that is an excellent way to realize that women are base animalistic beasts like us. Dude, I have 3 younger sisters. You did not need to tell me about an obscure online chat room associated with 4chan to tell me that.
Don't say it. They also bring down the quality of the site. Look, it's explained in the rules that humans have 1/5 the attention span of dinos.
I think that's a little bit off base, considering I've been sitting here for 3 streams now, commenting endlessly about this game. Liz groans while Olivia shows me her phone. Sending you an image? Oh, good. The graph is blurred to hell, and I can't make out most of the text. I don't know how I feel about all this.
What's not to get, Enko? Think about it. You're in history class. It sucks. So you just remember, wait a second, I'm human, and stop listening.
I wish I could do that.
According to Lady Hitler, here you can.
Oh, that's a weird one.
It's just a funny group of women like me. Lay off. Let me have it.
You don't really believe that stuff, though, do you?
Not really. It's just the rules of the place, all right?
Okay. Olivia sticks the phone in her back in her pocket with a huff.
Was the ride to the arcade always this long?
I think we're about 20 minutes away from the arcade still. Thanks, memes. Boy, what am I... Ah. Alright, fair enough. The comment they mentioned always being under their post. Fair enough.
Hey, don't worry, Inko. The water fountains are integrated. Shut up!
Damien cackles to himself.
Alright, I hope the place still sells those hot dogs for just $1.
If this is anything of the variety, it's probably $2 minimum, at least for inflation. There's no way anyone anywhere sells hot dogs for $1 anymore, unless you're Costco. Maybe Sam's Club.
Yeah, but they did. It was great. Olivia and I would save our lunch money to just go here instead after class. I don't think I'd trust it if they were still that cheap, honestly. You ate a dog off the floor once. That's different.
Damien fills the air with old tales of his and Olivia's adventures in the arcade. She'd occasionally chime in to correct him on whatever over-embellishment. Even as the last remnants of suburbia melt away and skyscrapers overtake our view of the outside world. Finally, I'm in the big city.
Here we are.
I'm almost disappointed when we pull into the arcade parking lot. Large glass windows covered in sun-bleached promotional leaflets adorn the front of the arcade, and the building itself looks a couple of decades old. Most of the good ones are. This place was probably successful in the past, but I can only imagine they break down nowadays. They break down even nowadays. Though maybe the recent resurgence of retro deco could change that.
I can show you more on the return trip. Come on.
Guess she must have seen my brief hesitance. Liz unlocks the trunk and I hop out to get Olivia's chair. As I attempt to heave the thing out of Liz's trunk, it takes considerably more effort than I'd like to admit, probably for being covered in soda cans. Now, how do I unfold this blasted thing? I think there's a release button right... As I check to make sure that all my fingers were intact, I can see Olivia snickering through the passenger window.
Inko-san, you have much to learn. Observe.
Olivia makes sure the brakes are held and heaves herself over in one motion. The chair is forced open by momentum alone with a loud crack. She gracefully rolls by me, tongue stuck out in smug victory over my ineptitude.
Ready. Sweet.
Damien hurries us inside, and I can tell he's the most excited to be here out of anybody. I'll be honest, I would love to go seeing different arcades. I mean, there's this one arcade nearby, and I actually used to went to a couple of times, liked it a lot. Supposedly one of the largest arcades left in the state. And letting you know that it's not in the city is probably telling something. Oh, this feels nice. Dude, this place is the bomb. We used to scrounge for change to come here after school. Place is abuzz with activity, flashing machines all competing for attention and gamers excitedly conversing. I lean a bit closer to Olivia. It's pretty dang loud here. You gonna be alright having to speak up more? Of course I am. What do you take me for, a kid? Sorry. I appreciate the concern. Liz scowls as she peels her boot from the floor with a loud... Yeah. Damien, you could have warned me about... Damien's taken off toward a nearby coin machine, fistfuls of bills at the ready. I could have told you too. I've been here before. So why didn't you warn me about the stickiness? It's not a real arcade if the floor isn't sticky in some regard. Olivia shrugs. His head lowers to bridge of snoot pinching levels. Well, you two did kind of drop this on me at the last minute. But I still remember this place pretty well. Great, you can show Inko around and I'll go with Damien. Liz meekly puts her pointer fingers together as she looks at the salmon-frilled teen. Those two-player gun thingies look fun to try out. You mean the light gun games? Yeah, those ones. I can't put my finger on it, but something tells me Liz was banking on splitting apart from the start. Though it would give me ample opportunity to have some alone time with Olivia. Just to get to know her more, of course. Liz, I think I broke this one's joystick. Liz sighs heavily through her nose. Seriously, Damien? Oh, come on. It's perfectly even and fair. You sure about this, Liz? We could all stick together. The long-necked Dinah looks around the arcade nervously. As much as I want to protest the situation, it might be for the best. Liz wants to stick with Damien, probably to make sure he doesn't do more damage. And Olivia knows this place as well, so she'd know all the best games. We've already been spending time together after school, so why not? I'm not against the idea, just, Alright, glad you agree. Liz takes this as her cue to leave, and she quickly pulls Damien away deep into the arcade. Meanwhile, Olivia begins to roll ahead, but stops and gives me an annoyed look. Come on already! Alright, and as soon as I step closer, Olivia resumes her casual roll down the aisleway. I feel at home already, and I can't hardly... Olivia's eyes seem distant as she looks over the various game cabinets in the room. Silver irises dancing to and fro, a soft hum resonating from her mouth. I try and follow where her gaze lingers, but she seems to be constantly drifting to something new every other moment while deep in her own thoughts. And as we carry on slowly, the creeping awkwardness in my stomach gnaws away at me. I've no clue what to do right now. The point of this excursion was to relax. Feels rude to interrupt her, but she definitely knows better than me. Say, Olivia. My voice brings her back to the current moment with a start, her hands maneuvering her chair around to look at me fully. What game should we try first? The baryonyx shrugs her shoulders. Anything. Okay then, how about one of your favorites? My favorites? Yeah, you used to come here all the time. I'm sure you've got some you prefer. Look of surprise from her is quickly hidden by her turning her chair back around. Fine, my favorites then. My favorites. She pushes her wheelchair with purpose towards a particularly large screen in the corner. Looking at it closer, there's a large block connected to it, and dull multicolored sticks hanging off the sides with wires. VR! Oh, damn it! I look at the title above the screen. Ruin Robbers. The more I look at it more, I see where splotches of fresh paint barely cover poorly done marker graffiti. Olivia's pout is so prominent she glares at the base of the funny-looking block before the screen. They updated it. So it should be better then, right? Her pout breaks, transforming into a depressed frown as her eyes seem to gloss over. I follow her place to the metal plate at the base to try and better understand. Machine looks pretty well maintained, if you ask me. Something wrong with it? They added a foot pedal for the cover action. I test the plate, feeling it sink down and noticing the video demo on screen changes to a screen with a bunch of ASS with numbers next to each instance. This sucks. Olivia's hands curl into fists as he glares at the machine. A twinge runs to my chest as I look back to the frustrated Dino Girl. One aspect of her favorite pastimes has been changed in a way that almost robs her of it. Almost? The thought strikes a painful chord in my heart, though I know I had zero hand in the game update. All the same, to see the clover-scaled girl look so morose. I turn my eyes away to my feet, the sensation leaving as I do, and a flash of brilliance overcomes me as I look at my loafers. Hey, I got an idea. She cuts me off with a growl. I know what you're gonna say, and the answer is no. So you're willing to just give up because you can't play it easily? Yes. Olivia's response leaves me a bit floored. Her hateful eyes leer venomously at her former favorite game, but I know my idea will work. Okay, you play that. Haven't you been paying attention? I'll handle the pedal work. Olivia's words are left hanging as she tries to visualize what I'm saying. Her confused gaze wanders between me and the flat rectangle on the floor. The whole time, she looks so goofy I have to withhold a chuckle in fear of her clawing me. She must have realized, though, as she snatches the light gun from my hand, her cheeks bearing a red hue. Fine. One game. She looks at the light gun in her hand and takes a deep breath. You better do your job right, Inko. I give Olivia a nod when she wheels herself right next to the arcade machine. Gimme! She reaches out for my hand and goes to take it before I can respond. She takes it for a split second and then moves down to grab my wrist instead. Her scales are soft and cool. Hit the pedal when I squeeze. Capiche? I nod in affirmation, and Olivia blasts the start button into pieces. Not so tight. Dude, hit the damn pedal. It's like playing with controller lag. Inko! Sorry. Holy crap, this is worse than I remember. Hi, it's me, the guy that makes sense. Here you can see me. See, I put the respawning enemies in front of a place you're forced to cross. I came up this idea while eating a bird. I don't even want to staple my ears to me. Fucking goddammit that again. This game sucks. Want to play again? She's a bit intense. When Olivia finally releases her grip on my wrist, I feel my blood rushing through the imprint she left. We ended up playing 4 or 5 games total. That's probably enough. I'm good to move on. You? Are you sure? I don't want to keep you here all day. Olivia looks over the machine one last time before sliding the plastic gun back in its slot. I'm still a bit disappointed they changed it, but... Thanks. Alright, there's better games around anyway. Let's go. A stray thought, from before I really got to know Olivia, careens to the forefront of my mind. Sometime along the way, people started calling her Hot Wheels. Don't remember really who or when, but I do know it's proof she got that fire in her. Fire in her. Yeah. Before she can roll too far, my hand takes hold of one of her chair's grips, jolting the Dino Girl from her sullen stupor. Say, I've got an idea, Hot Wheels.
Why don't we try the fighting game you were so good at? The fighting game... Olivia's jaw clicks shut and her hands wringing together tightly. Arcade cabinets can't change, right? I mean... Her gaze towards the opposite end of the arcade, and I can hear the loud hollers of competition from there. Come on, Hot Wheels, what do you say? The name seems to invigorate her, her glacier irises hardening and her ivory claws touching at her wheels. Do I finish the scene? It's 3. We've been doing this for 3 hours. You know, it feels bad to... Honestly, it really feels bad to cliffhanger this. We'll be a bit longer on the scene. Well then, in that case, this is probably as good of a cinematic cliffhanger then, if it's going to be that long. Yeah, why don't we just say that it'll be we'll say that that'll be a good place to end then, for the week anyway. I'm gonna say that this is, I'm actually kind of interested to see what sort of things like what is it like? You know, it would be absolutely ironic if her favorite fighting game was something like Primal Rage. Like, if you know what Primal Rage is, memes, then you'll know exactly why I said that. You'll just have to see, won't you? Well, what I'm honestly expecting is some Street Fighter or Killer Instinct knockoff, or Mortal Kombat. But I do also know that Primal Rage is an old arcade fighter that is, literally, dinosaurs. It's a dinosaur fighting game. So yeah, we'll just have to see. But we shall see next time, for I still have half a pizza to eat. Alright. Well then. Gotta say, that was a good bit of stuff. Some good drama, some nice character work. I'm excited to see what the end of this arcade segment will do. We'll see if I remember the Primal Rage stuff next week. But yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Alright, so 3 in. Am I still a fifth of the way through the game, memes? Just perpetually a fifth of the way through the game. Yes. Good to know that I know the joke. Alright. Well then. Cheesy garlic bread goodness. Alright. Well then. I think with that, that's, like I said, good place. So. Blood Bowl. More of that's happening. Including Cren Bowl and MMM is starting up again. So there's that. Sunday, D&D. More Tomb of Annihilation. There was a... DeHedro actually turned me on to another game that he was going to be DMing as well. Doing... Like, would it be... It would technically be at about the time that I would need to go to another job, but I could possibly go a little bit later on that and then actually play Curse of Strahd versus DM it. But who knows? But, probably not. But anyway. And then, let's see. Yeah. And then, next Thursday, more of this. They got some more stuff. It's fun.
I'm honestly enjoying this a lot more than Snoot. Not gonna lie. Anyway, so with that, memes, Zio, and the other fellow that was around here a while, Pentaven. Thank you all for hanging around, chatting, being all around cool dudes. I'll see you in the next game. And actually, who knows? Maybe at the end of this, at the end of this, I'll start doing like some Civ 7 or something. Thursdays are up in the air, aren't they? Have a good rest of your day, all.
Terrific, wonderful.
Say, is your friend the avocado here some kind of professional critic?
Nah, he's just unemployed.
You should go to work. Try to make something of yourself.
Oh, like what?
Guacamole.